Hi, y'all. It's so nice to come in and see all y'all waiting for me. Paolo, it is good to see you. Dusty, I wish I could see the Sammy Hagar show with you. That sounds excellent. Excellent. I can't wait to hear all about it. Kat, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Susan, I'm so glad you're here. I hope everybody's had a great week. I've really missed you guys, but I have been busy clearing out and cleaning up. Hi, Cricket. How are you? It's really good to see you. I have been taking things to the Goodwill and clearing things out and organizing. Hi, Paolo. Things around the house are looking so much better. So much better. We've got some furniture moved around and some organization happening and some thinning of things. It's really nice, and I'm really appreciative of my mom taking the time to come and help me get everything going. Hey, Scooter Mom, how are you? It is good to see you. So, we're just talking about how the week went. I had a whole lot of just hanging out and, hanging out with my mom and trying to. Oh, thank you, Brain Fog. I thought it would be nice to put some makeup on today. I had a little bit of extra time. Couldn't keep my eyes open, so I figured putting my makeup on might help. And I've got news, y'all. I've got grade news. I heard back from my professor. I was getting so anxious Friday afternoon, I couldn't even deal because it had been almost 2 weeks and I hadn't heard a word. And y'all know how certain I am that I'm getting an F on this paper. So I managed to put my anxiety aside. Hey, replay crew, please hit the like and subscribe while you come in. I'm so certain, I was so certain, I've been so certain that this paper is not worth a decent grade, that it was really hard for me to put together the chutzpah to email my professor on Friday and tell her that I was worried that she hadn't gotten my submission. But it turns out that she had. She got my submission, and drum roll, please. I got an A minus B plus on the paper and ended up with an A minus in the class. I don't know, you guys. I give up. I am convinced that my ability exactly, Cricket. Can I have no words. I was so certain that I had completely not written a good paper. So I am thrilled with an A minus. Thrilled with an A minus for the class. I know I am brain fog. I have determined that I have zero ability to assess my own work, and so I should just trust it. So that is the news this week. We got the grades back, and they were not an F. They were not the F that I was certain I was getting. I don't know what I did right in this class. Indigo Twin. Hi, thank you for that. That's really kind of you. You guys are going to start laughing at me. One of these days it's going to come back an F. One of these days. I just can't quite believe it. So, that's where we are with that. I know, I need to listen better. Orion, you guys are going to love this. You guys are going to love this. Wait until you see this. You have so many thoughts and feelings. Okay, Indigo Twin. Well, let's get on it. Bring it here, Orion. Come on, bring it here. Orion, bring it here. No. Orion, bring it here. He's not going to bring it here. So, Indigo Twin, let's talk about the books and see if we can get Orion to bring things here in a little while. Let's talk about the book. You read up to chapters 6 and 7. I need to get myself to chapter 6 and 7. What were people's thoughts? I can't quite believe everything. The whole escape. Okay, schooling began about 1:45, encompassing math, geography, reading, spelling, and history. But we were expected to learn the subjects on our own, using textbooks and check sheets that were assigned to us, not from a formal lesson given by a teacher. So it was all self-led learning. A daily meter check. And the explanation about an e-meter. And I know, she's 7. How old was she when she ran away? Academic studies. Yeah, I felt really bad when she described. I couldn't believe that they put her in that post. A 7-year-old. That's a little bit of responsibility for a 7-year-old, don't you think? Just a tad. Come here, Ryan. Bring it here. Bring it here. Come on. You guys have to see. I'm just going to be distracted because he's over there with a big, huge thing he's carrying around. And he's going to come show us. Okay. Come here. Bring it here. Come here. How could they do that to a child? You need a medical professional, and then even then everyone processes vitamins differently. It's not a universal thing. Exactly. I don't know how anybody could expect a 7-year-old to do that safely. It's a little weird. Lori, how are you? And if too many kids got sick, she got into trouble. And they were supposed to keep track of all those stats all the time. They were supposed to keep track of all those stats all the time. They knew all the numbers. They knew if they were up numbers. They knew what the statistics meant. They don't believe in the concept of children. Exactly. They were all miniature adults, and they were expected to behave like miniature adults. It's just a little nuts. It's just a little nuts. Everyone does need a little Orion, especially after reading this chapter. My goodness gracious. Yes, so many stats, Kat. It's a little nuts, the number of stats that were required. Not to mention how she explains they isolated kids into a room with a mattress on a concrete floor. She had fevers 103, so she should have been taken to the hospital. Exactly, Indigo Twin. The symptoms they mention are just insane. Just insane. There he is, guys. Look at that. And even then he turns around and gives the back of his head. Nutso, buddy. Nutso. Your audience would like to see you. Yeah. And you need to climb up here. No, not to lick my face. Not to lick my face. He is a cutie. He is a cutie. So, 15-minute breaks. We were allowed to grab a snack, either something we bought at the canteen or an orange or an apple, and then they could play in the playground that you had built. After break, there was another roll call before classes resumed. 1 15-minute break. 1:45 until 6, so 4 hours with 1 15-minute break. That is, oh my goodness gracious, buddy. That is a lot. That is a lot. And then they'd have dinner and go to Scientology, the playground the kids built. Exactly, Kat. Exactly that. The amount of child labor is insane. I agree, Indigo Twin. The fact they'd hire different contractors because they didn't want to be reported for the dangerous situations. Right? Isn't that nuts? This is what Orion was trying to bring me, y'all. We're cleaning up, and one of the things we found is a storage of disposable aluminum pans that we had in the house, and he's bringing them to me one at a time. All the fun things for Orion to bring me. He wants to bring me aluminum pans. And then you notice she said the academic studies and the course periods were crowded with 40 people per room. He is helping clean up. Exactly that, Indigo Twin. He is helping. He wants brownies. No brownies for Orion. That's for damn sure. No brownies, no chocolate. We're not doing that at all. We're not doing that at all. So that was the schedule. Well, Cricket, there was Lord of the Flies in reverse, but also she talks about how it was never the adults that turned any of the kids in. It was always the kids that turned the kids in. Blondies? Yes, brain fog, indeed. I haven't made blondies in a long time either. Yep, she also talks about reporting her friends. Yep. And then they talk about TRs doing the training routines, bull baiting, uh, programming children how to keep their emotions in check. It's just the objective of TR bull bait was to learn how not to react, but it was never clear to me why it was so important not to laugh at things that were funny. At times it was hard to maintain composure, let alone not break out into loud laughter. All the TRs were grounded in repetition. That's an interesting thing. They they taught kids how to accept and handle being harassed and bullied by adults. Adults who knew better and still decided to follow through with bull baiting. Yeah. But clearly the adults didn't know better. I mean, I'm not excusing the adults, but clearly if the adults knew better, they would have done better. So I think we need to remember the adults were just as brainwashed and had all of their sense removed. Um, what's interesting about the repetition um, is that kind of repetition, that kind of Chinese school. I think I mentioned this last week. That's an actual learning theory out of the 50s, that people thought that if you repeated things, rote memorization done properly, would result in proper learning. So, yet another thing that L. Ron made off with out of the science that is stuck back in the 50s and hasn't moved forward in 75 years. The schooling was so focused on clearing words, she got to hate school. Exactly. The only point you can see is to tie them up so much they could never think for themselves. Well, they never learned to think for themselves either. I mean, that's something you have to teach children, is how to think for themselves. How to be abused and not react. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, guys, my mom and my son are going to walk in a second. That's why Orion is making so much noise. So you guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment, because I have to mute and handle something with him for just a moment when he comes in. Hold on. Indigo Twin says, yeah, but you still know right from wrong. In my opinion, no one can get away with the defense I was brainwashed, because then for X Render could just get away with his actions by claiming that. I think I think that there is a line, and I'm not sure where that line is. I think that that's not necessarily for us never ends to judge, because I know some of the some of the ex-Scientologists are really forgiving of their parents and some are not. So I think it just depends. I think Jenna is interesting because she had time as a child where she was nurtured by her parents, and I think she could have insight that others born in couldn't. I agree, Indigo Twin. I agree. I think it's important to remember that when you're in a cult, part of it is survival. And so you do awful things in order to not have more awful things done to you. It's pitting everybody against everybody, which is the awfulness of it. Which is the awfulness of it. And then at 9 o'clock, we're still 7 years old. At 9 p.m., the Scientology study period would end, and then they had to fill out student point slips and then tally the points, and then wins, and then cheers, and then get ready for bed, and then lights out at 9:30 sharp. Indigo Twin, that broke my heart too. It occurred to me that my dad could have known how bad it was and still done nothing. Yeah. How terrifying, right, Indigo Twin? How terrifying. Yeah. Such abuse. So they finish at 9 and then they've got to go through all of this stuff and then in bed, and then she's talking and they'd take showers at night because there wasn't enough time in the morning. 16 of us who shared a shower in a half an hour. I don't understand how all of that was accomplished in a half an hour. It was 3 pages worth of what they had to do in a half an hour. Did you guys notice that? The wins were shared, and then 3 cheers for L. Ron Hubbard, and then go to our rooms and get ready for bed. Yes, kids are proven to need more sleep than adults to grow up. And she does. She talks about going to bed by 9:30, lights out at 9:30, and waking up extra early at 5:30 a.m. to white glove their room ahead of time. Exactly. That's I mean, it is 8 hours of sleep, but Jiminy Christmas. After our salute, we would return to our rooms and get ready for bed. I lived in a dorm room with 7 girls. We would all take showers at night because there was never enough time in the morning. While waiting for the shower, the 16 of us who shared it would hang out, chat, and brush our teeth. It was one of the few occasions during the day when we could just talk to our friends, although it was just 30 minutes. Unbelievable. I can't quite believe that they did all of those numbers each time, the condition formulas, whether you're improving. I think military boarding school would be easier, Cricket. I think. Especially you're not doing, I mean, they're doing like 18-hour days, 16-hour days for kids with hard labor. It's a little excessive. It's more than a little excessive. It's more than a little excessive. And then, what do you guys think about her escape attempt? Let's back up a minute. As a 7-year-old girl, tallying and graphing all these numbers seemed ridiculous and unimportant to me. I was not a perfectionist, and the attention to detail was always stifling. Well, Indigo Twin, there are military-style boarding schools, grade schools, and middle schools and high schools for kids under the age of 18. Military-style. I forget what it's called. There's a term for it. Military preparation school, prep school. They do, it's a special words for, I would assume so too, Indigo. I would assume so too. Well, I would assume that most schools would have to. I'm not sure how they got through with this, except that they were up in the middle of nowhere and nobody was reporting on it. We had to look at the results, draw conclusions, and follow the prescribed next steps. All this work with numbers, statistics, and trends was a fundamental warm-up for our adult lives as Scientologists. The more we grew accustomed to having our life be quantifiable every week, the less likely we were to have a problem with it in the future. Hey, Sir Crepitus. Hey, Joe Gerst. It's nice to see you. I hope Poe and Chad had a lovely chat. Welcome in, everybody. Please hit the like button. Oh, Sir Crepitus, you're so kind. It's the same way Provo, the school Paris Hilton was sent to for troubled teens. People with money fund it, and people who work there can get away with things. Exactly, Indigo Twin. Sir Crepitus, it's really kind of you. The 12 levels of condition are crazy. They are crazy. Those 12 levels of condition, from best to worst. Harry, pleasure to meet you. Please hit the like button on the way in. We are discussing Jenna Miscaviage's book. Maybe, sir, maybe it's because you were gifted a membership. Maybe you were gifted your first membership and that's why it didn't auto-renew. Hey, John, how are you doing? It's really good to see you. I hope you and Chad had a lovely time with your live. I watched a few minutes. It sounded like you were getting on famously. So we were just talking about the 12 levels of condition. Everyone started in a condition of non-existence. Oh, good, John. I'm glad it was fun. Mischief! How are you doing? Susie, it's a pleasure to meet you. Nebulous, nice to meet you. Okay, Sir Crepitus. I just wasn't sure. That's the only reason I know that it wouldn't auto-renew, so I'm sorry it didn't auto-renew, but you fixed it, so thank you. Thank you. Non-existent was way above confusion. Explains clearing all your words. Let's see. Yes. So in order from best to worst: power, power change, affluence, normal operation, emergency, danger, non-existence, liability, doubt, enemy, treason, confusion. So really, out of those 12 levels of condition, only 4 of them sound like they're quite reasonable: power, power change, affluence, and normal operation. The remainder: emergency, danger, non-existence, liability, doubt, enemy, treason, confusion. The remainder of them all sound negative. And yeah, non-existence is way above confusion. It's the weirdest. It's the tone scale. The tone scale is just weird. The tone scale is just weird. Enemy equals anyone who is critical of the church and Hubbard. Treason equals going against Hubbard's policies and betraying the group. Right, and it's interesting. Confusion is below enemy or treason or doubt. Confusion is way down at the bottom. Nil, zilch, none, zero, nothing yet. In tennis, it means love. There you go. Power sounds frightening as a priority. Yep. Any condition below non-existence was considered a lower condition and would be treated with varying degrees of punishment. Lower conditions meant you were on the outs with the group, had done something that violated the mores of the group, and needed to be corrected. If you're confused, just word clear and get your TRs in. As a medical liaison, I had to graph my weekly progress on a chart. If I showed improvement in my post, my condition would improve as a result. If tons of kids came in sick, my graph might show a downward trend, which would require me to reverse it by applying the formula for the condition of danger. You could also be in different conditions in different aspects of your life. For example, you could be in doubt in your finances and in affluence in your health. It's better to be unalive than confused. Right, Kat. Dave Miscavige's negative 0.01 on the tone scale. I think so, Sir Crepitus. I think so. It forced us to focus just on numbers and the formulas with little thought about what it all meant. And then, does it really, Cricket? David's power on the scale 00. He also squirreled the tech. Yes, he did. Love in tennis comes from the French word for egg. Interesting. What is that derivation? How does that have meaning? I don't know enough about tennis to know why you would be the French word for egg in tennis. Oh, and then also on Thursdays they got e-meter checks. And they wouldn't find out if they passed or flunked until later in the day in front of the group. Just how many ways can you find to humiliate young children? Cat? Exactly. An egg is round like a 0. Oh. That's what it is. That makes sense, Cricket. That makes sense. No questions were asked to the weekly check. The reading would either be clean, dirty, pass, or flunk. No questions. I don't even. And then they were required to write things and write weekly reports. It's so much love. Love. That makes sense, Indigo Twin. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. So what else stood out to you guys in the chapter? I thought that it was interesting that the best part of graduation when they got their $5 allowance, but it wasn't really $5, it was $4.50 because Social Security needed to be taken out. Seriously, y'all, Social Security needed to be taken out of the $5 allowance.
Not for children.
Yes, they took it out for children.
It didn't go to the government.
My mom says it doesn't need to come out for children. It certainly didn't go to the government. That would be something to research if that would be an interesting thing, Sir Crepitus, to research. If all of the withholdings that Scientology has been holding back have actually been submitted, if they've submitted their withholdings.
I doubt it.
Presents for the adults in power. In spite of the intense cleaning, I liked Saturdays because we were going to be seeing our parents, and Saturday night dinner was now the only time we got dessert, usually chocolate chip cookies. By the time white gloving and inspection were done, it was about 10 in the evening. It was tiring, but leaving for the relative luxury of my parents' apartment was worth waiting for. You did get a W-2 as a teenager? I did too, brain fog, as a teenager. I know, Indigo Twin, and she talks about how she had to ask for time off and justify it every time she wanted to see her mom and cover her. I mean, they're just, the requirements are just crazy. Have you guys...
Religious organizations are exempt from Social Security.
Oh, that's interesting, guys. My mother says religious organizations are exempt from Social Security withholding.
Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come. You can't play with those things.
As soon as you have taxable income, you get a W-2. It was a lot harder to get a job as a teen in the mid-2000s than it was in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Yes, I think so, Indigo Twin. I think so. Did any of you guys catch how old she was when she made her first escape? It gets more and more insane. I'm glad we only do 2 chapters at a time. Yeah, I keep going, okay, this sucks. This sucks some more. She was 7 or 8 when she tried to escape. The way she talks about the punishment she expected, I thought she was a teenager when she tried to escape.
Come here.
Any sense of normalcy that existed did so because we were practically where we were each other's parents, taking care of each other when we were sick, consoling each other when we couldn't sleep, disciplining each other when we acted out, feeding each other meals when we were hungry, and helping each other with schoolwork when we were confused. That's why the elders have no Social Security. There you go, Janelle. So that's interesting because Jenna says in her book that Social Security was being withheld. So, yeah, Indigo Twin, it's a lot. It is a lot.
Maybe someday they can get them like they did the mafia for tax evasion.
Well, they're trying to get them for tax evasion. The problem is, Mom, that they have a tax exempt status, and when they got that tax exempt status, basically there's no way for the IRS to take it back away.
I know, but if they're collecting taxes from their people.
Yes, if they're collecting taxes from their people. What are you confused about, Big Chief? What year did they get their tax exempt status? I don't remember what year they got the new tax exempt status, Cricket. 1996 sounds about right, Indigo Twin. Big Chief, how are you doing? It is good to see you, man. It is good to see you. As much as I wanted to tell them the truth, I was hesitant, not because I was afraid of getting in trouble, but because I was terrified that the problem wasn't with the ranch, but with me. All around me, other kids were completing their decks and clearing their words, and the fact that I, along with a few others, was struggling made me feel like there was something wrong with me. I had no one around me to reassure me or to tell me that kids weren't meant to do work like this. My fear was that if I went straight to my parents and told them what was happening, I would only disappoint them. I didn't want to let them down, so I did the only thing that made sense. I kept quiet and decided to run away. 1998, there you go. Yeah, right around there. 96, 97, 98. Exactly. Exactly. So she couldn't have been older than 8 the first time she ran away, because she says by the time I'd been at the ranch for a year, I was done. She was 8 years old and decided to run away and live in the wog world. Unbelievable. For at least a week, they strategized about what to do. Dawn! Girl! The green healing stone I am wearing? I am not wearing any green healing stone. I am wearing 3 kind of grimy initial necklaces that have each one of my children's initials on them. Nebulous. I do not have a green healing stone on. That would be lovely if I did. Dawn, I understand that you've been really busy. We were sorry to miss you, but we're glad you're here now. If we can prove Scientology isn't meeting these criteria, we can get the exempt status revoked. But they do have to pay employment taxes on wages paid to employees and taxes on money received from an unrelated business activity. Yeah, so if we could find that they are withholding FICA from
Children.
children and not submitting that withheld FICA tax. Thank you, Nebulous. If they're withholding that money but not submitting it to the government, that is a serious no-no. To live in a cave, she would dig and eat croissants, which of course all the Wog bakeries had. Exactly, Kat. I thought that was the most creative, adorable 7-year-old thing. Brian, sweetie, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well this evening. We are talking about all manner of things, mostly Jenna's book. We are talking. Robert, what are you having for dinner? You always have the most amazing food, Robert. Yes, it should meet those above criteria, Indigo Twin, but it doesn't. There are ins and outs of that tax exempt status that I don't fully understand because those kinds of things. Roast chicken, that sounds lovely, Robert. That sounds lovely. I think we'll be having leftover chicken for dinner. We have leftover barbecued chicken from the other night when it was so hot. No face, sweetie. What are you serving tonight, man? It's really good to see you. Y'all, I haven't even said a first Minnesota goodbye and everybody's showing up. It's kind of funny. The net earnings of a 501c3 cannot go to a person. This could lead to losing your status and paying fines to the IRS. Yes, David Miscaviage does completely break that rule, Indigo Twin. This is confusing because if they are paying taxes to employ a child, isn't that a tip-off about using child labor? Cricket. I find that comment that she made about FICA being withheld really interesting. But I know that I am not the one to follow it up on. You guys are, but it said it right in the book that the church withheld FICA from their checks. Now, granted, Jenna was 8, but it's certainly worthwhile finding out if the Church of Scientology is submitting the withholdings that they're withholding, or if they're withholding it and keeping the money. I'm not sure. I mean, it's very confusing. It's very confusing. Child was 8 years old and taking care of all the various animals on the ranch. She tended to the goats, the ducks, the hens, and the horses that lived in a corral. And she loved the animals, but an 8-year-old was in charge. Stolen vegetables from one of the gardens we maintained and eggs from the chicken coop. Sounds like the IRS should send an external auditor to check the Scientology books. Wouldn't that be excellent, Nebulous? That would.
So you can't employ children under 16 years of age.
Remember, Jenna was in the cadet orgs. Sea Org staff were different entities. Yeah, Janelle, but I'm still thinking if they were withholding the FICA, they have to submit the amount they're withholding. The tax exemption gives them a loophole to avoid auditing. Okay. I'm not sure they could get any IRS employee to do that after what the church did to the other IRS employees. Yeah, there is that. The church is less powerful now than it was, but IRS certainly doesn't seem to be going. IRS certainly doesn't seem to be going after the church much at all. How about Uncle Dave's special chickens? Well, that's what I think they were doing, Cricket. That's what I think they were doing. Taking the 50 cents from the kids out of greed, keeping it, and not reporting it.
It's against the law to employ an 8-year-old.
It is against the law to employ an 8-year-old. Nebulous, I am not the expert on this, but I think if that was the case, their tax exempt, the tax exempt status would be gone now if they were needing to comply with the law. I'm not sure. It's all messed up. Fat Grammy, Mona and Fat Grammy know all the details about that. Yeah, what with the eggs and not worrying about the eggs, and she'd stolen eggs and they were Uncle Dave's special eggs. Just funky do, y'all. Chickens were brought to the ranch and kept in a special coop with a caged outdoor area.
No, they get around it by agricultural laws.
The kids gave the hens feed and cleaned their cages. When the hens laid the eggs, we gathered them to be taken to Uncle Dave at the inn base for his consumption only. You need to ask Jenna about Uncle Dave. Well, it is her Uncle Dave, right, Kat? She was supposed to be in big trouble, and Uncle Dave didn't think it was a big enough deal. Right, Indigo Twin? It is weird hearing to him referred to. They didn't have tax exempt status until she was around 14. Interesting, Cricket. So I wonder if they were getting around the employment of kids. Mom mentioned they were getting around it with the agricultural rules. Standard fuzzy navel? That sounds excellent, No Face. Oh, Linda, you're hilarious. The chickens came out of volcanoes. Indeed, they. Fuzzy navels sound excellent, No Face. It has been ages since I've had one of those. I will enjoy. I will enjoy. What I would really love is an Italian margarita. Do you know how to do one of those, No Face? Do chickens have thetans? They must, Indigo Twin. Fuzzy, sweetie, how are you? It's so good to see you. We are just running through the chapters, seeing if there's anything interesting as we run through the little stories that Jenna has to tell. Dawn, how are you doing? Has your life settled down a little bit?
You are persistent.
I hope BJ is doing okay. Me too. I'm sorry, Dawn. I'm sorry that things aren't doing okay. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom.
What?
Look over here.
Okay.
Yep. He's bringing them all. He's delivering all the things. Brain Fog says he wants blondies. Were you going to survive on carrots and raw eggs? Quickly learned that the staff had known we were escaping before we had even reached the front gate. Pretty amazing. They knew they were leaving before they even reached the front gate. So, my question is yes, indeed, love and strength, Dawn. Love and strength. For an update, guys, for those of you who've just arrived, Mom has been here now for a little over a week. The fact they still let them try, exactly, Indigo Twin. That or the no, one or the other. But I thought it was really gross that they knew that they'd escaped and they still let them try. Exactly. So I was going to say, as an aside, but that's okay. We don't need an aside right now. Rebecca's punishment was harsher than mine. In addition to the lower conditions, she was demoted from the rank of cadet to child for several weeks. I knew that it was unfair that she had gotten a worse penalty than me, but I wasn't about to question it. Taryn wouldn't let it go, though, calling me a spoiled brat for getting off easier than Rebecca. This next line, Rebecca and I went to bed too ashamed to talk to each other or anyone else. That line, more than anything in this book so far, reminded me of 1984. Yes, they can't go to the police, Indigo Twin, because they'll just bring them back to the parent. Exactly. No one took them seriously. Exactly, Kat. No one took this seriously. And then the projectile vomiting because she's so anxious. And that the reason she was. Here he comes with another one, you guys. We'll have another puppy break. Come here, Orion. Orion. Bring it here. Bring it here. No. Bring it here. Bring it here. Good boy. Bring it here. You guys, you have to see this. This is just hilarious. Come here. Come on up. There he is, you guys. There he is. Yeah. Exactly. But don't think that's going to get you out of work. I mean, you brought it on yourself. Taryn is Mike Rinder's daughter. Yes, Cricket. Taryn is Mike Rinder's daughter. It's easier to provision an affidavit to overrule a dodgy, coerced, or signed under duress contract document. Yes. Come here. Hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Look at you. Look at you. Say hi to everybody. Yeah. They like to see you. They do. They like to see your smiling face. Mm-hmm. They do, they do. Indigo Twin, that whole Justin and Sterling thing being separated by their parents just seems a little strange to me. He is really unimpressed, and he's going to go get another. You guys, we've got these little aluminum, disposable aluminum pans that you get from the grocery store that we use for the holidays. And we've got a pile of them. And he just keeps bringing me little aluminum pans. It's kind of adorable. Kind of adorable. So the projectile vomiting pulling in was kind of like karma, the difference being that pulling in was guaranteed if you did something wrong. The idea was that you, the Thetan, caused something bad to happen to you in order to punish yourself for the wrong you had committed. I thought this part was interesting. My dad thanked her and told her that he would take care of it and then dismissed her. As broken up as I was, I couldn't help but notice how strange it was to see her dismissed. I was so used to her being the one in control and dismissing other people. The sudden shift of power was intriguing. Cricket, I think he is. Tinfoil hats, indeed. Indeed. You pulled it. Yes, it is gaslighting bull poop. Okay, Kat. It's good to see you, dear. I hope everything's going well. Have a lovely, lovely evening. So, what do you think, guys? Have we closed these out? Do you have anything? I mean, I think the hardest thing. There was something else that prevented me from telling the truth. Maybe he already knew how bad things were there, but he believed that what we were being asked to do was in line with Scientology's goal of saving the planet. Love and kisses to you too, Kat. Self-flagellation, like wearing a coast undergarment to a pilgrimage in the 14th century. Indeed, Nebulous. Indeed. I think it's sad that not even the other kids took it seriously, too. I'm amazed. I mean, 8-year-olds running away, you guys. 8-year-olds running away. And nobody took it seriously. Even her dad didn't take it seriously. Finding that out would be almost too much to bear, so instead I told him I had been sad and wanted to see what it was like in the WOG world. He was smiling as though he thought my plot had been a cute and a funny idea, which was frustrating. Laura talked about running away too, or wanting to. Yeah, I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did want to. I can't imagine that anybody would want to stay in the situation that they were in. Brain fog, you will be glad Soda has entered the arena. He is less than 10 feet from me. We will see if he comes to make Orion. For heaven's sakes. Orion. Leave Soda be. In chapter 6, she talks about the kids' stats being reported to their parents. I thought this was a bizarre place for them to think that parental involvement was important. Right, Cricket? Right? Is that not totally weird?
Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yes. Oh, give me hugs.
Soda.
Give me hugs.
Soda.
Yes. Give me hugs. Oh. Yes. Oh. Yes.
Was in the letters they sent once a week to their parents. It's like you're not allowed to parent your children, but here are their statistics. Right, Cricket? Right? It figures that he's coming while you're feeding yours. Yeah, he's just been fed, so dinner time is over. So now he's going to come. Now he's going to come and see what's up. So guys, that's what hit me about those 2 chapters. Hi, Mom and Dad. Life at the ranch is peachy keen and my stats are up. Yep, she did what any good Scientologist would do, she says. Isn't that what the last line says? I didn't question it. I did what any good Scientologist was supposed to do. I didn't question it. Forced positivity is indeed a red flag. Yes, Indigo Twin. Yes, indeed. Indeed it is. Quite a bit. So what else, you guys? Were there any things that I skipped over that you found particularly interesting about these 2 chapters? I mean, I love Jenna. Right now the book is a big bummer because it's a whole lot of reading about a whole lot of adults who were out to lunch about how to treat children. It's just nutso. Just nutso. Such a cult mentality. Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at Camp Dunstarter.
Granada.
It was a joke. Mom's correcting me over here, making sure that I'm making the right sounds. Come here, Soda. Orion. My mom is funny. My mom is funny. I remember reading other books and hearing Jenna talk about her parents and siblings filled in some gaps for me, how everyone connects to each other.
Yeah, he's gonna smack you.
He should smack you. Also, Soda's audience wants Soda. Orion. You've already made your appearance twice. Now it's Soda's turn, and you're getting in the way. I'm going to have to get up and get him if he's going to make an appearance at this rate. I know, brain fog. I know. It's pretty scary. It is definitely pretty scary. Oh, look, you guys. Brain fog.
Good Lord, you're heavy. Come here. Oh. Oh, my goodness sakes. Jesus. Oh.
You didn't have to do that.
Holy crap.
I hope you guys really think Mom is funny. She just hauled Soda over here for you, brain fog.
He weighs 40 pounds.
He only weighs about 22,
No,
Mom.
he doesn't. I think you need to put him on a scale again. Oh.
Here we go. Here's Soda, you guys. Cat time. He's only 20 pounds, Mom.
I don't think so.
Everybody says thank you for bringing over Soda.
You're welcome.
She says you're welcome, guys. Look at that. There he is, y'all. Look at that. It's all that fur. It is. Janelle, haven't you seen him before?
It's going to be Soda's channel.
Cat with the fur, everyone looking at him. Indeed. It kind of is Soda's channel. Everybody thinks Soda is just all that in a bag of chips. 20 pounds? Yes, he's probably 22. Mom insists he's 40.
Jesus.
Guys, she only brought him like 10 feet.
I'm 76 years old.
She says she's 76 years old. He's heavy. He is beautiful. He does have pretty eyes.
He's a dog.
Mom says he's a dog. He thinks he's a dog. My mom is pretty awesome. We have gotten so much done, guys. The house looks 110% better, I think. There's still a lot of work yet to be done. Yep, he jumps everywhere and there's fur everywhere. I'm lucky I don't have cat hair in my lipstick already. I don't know why. I don't tonight. It'll come. Just give it a little bit of time. So did everybody hear the news about my grades? I shared it at the beginning of the stream, but I'll share it again if you didn't hear. 76 years old. Yes, my mom is 76 years old. She sure is. Mr. Birdie elicits the same response being picked up. Jeebus? Yes, indeed, Jeebus. He is a heavy one. Hi. Yes, I know. You guys should be able to hear him purr, right? So are we ready for chapters? Cats and oldsters are the best? Yeah. Cats and oldsters are the best. I've been counseling my mom about starting her own channel to talk about how women become invisible after a certain age. You turned 63 today? Happy birthday, Susan. I told her a bunch of you would probably be interested in a channel like that. Happy birthday, Susan. I hope you've had a lovely, lovely day. Did you get to do anything fun? Oh, so what was I saying? I got my grade back for my paper and I got A minus B plus on my paper, so I got an A minus for the class. So that is really exceptional. Better than I expected. Now I have soda hair everywhere. He needs shaved, y'all. He needs seriously shaved. I think we're going to call this our first Minnesota goodbye, y'all. It's getting to be about that time. You love that idea, Cricket? You joke with your clients that your gray hair is your cloak of invisibility.
It's not quite what I'm talking about. I get what she's talking about.
Right. Pop needs a good shaving. Linda, that's what's going to happen is thank you, Janelle. Harry Potter was wondering about his cloak of invisibility. It's just that Hogwarts plans to expel him if he doesn't get it back. Red, you were busy. I'm sure you were busy. I know that Reese and Tommy were on, so I didn't expect you guys until they were done. I hope it was an excellent stream. I listened to the first hour or so and it sounded like it was really good. I always like to hear Reese and Tommy. Red, I'll say it one more time since you just got here. I got my grade back for my paper and I got an A minus B plus, so I got an A minus for the class. Good. I'm glad it was good. I'm glad it was good. I know Reese is really struggling with a lot of things, and so I'm glad that it was a good live for her. I worry about her. Yes, it is awesome. I'm still in shock because I expected to fail this class. I had every expectation of failing the class. So again, you guys, it was really hard. I did the thing. It was scary, but I did it, and I'm starting to think maybe I can do this. We will see. It seems every time I do it, things come back reasonably okay. I never give myself enough grace, Red. Never. I think so. I've only got about 4 more classes. 4 more classes, and I will be done. Next quarter is student teaching. Us Gen Xers are really messed up. Gen X and over 50. Yes, we are brain fog. I am taking it at my pace, Indigo Twin. I've been taking 1 class a quarter, and that seems to be about right. I'd really like to double up and take 2 classes a quarter, but I'm afraid that's more than I could do. The anxiety just gets to me way too much, and I'm just not able to function. I'm not sure if I could take 2 classes at a time. So So that's what I think. Did anybody get a chance to watch did they broadcast breaking news, stupid women not stupid, news at 11? That's pretty funny, brain fog.
I still like the t-shirt Judy had. I'm being stalked. I'm being stalked. I have a stalker.
Uh-huh.
My dog.
Oh. Mom likes the one that she had one that somebody had about their dog. Had a picture of their dog and said, "I'm being stalked. I have a stalker," and it was their dog. It was pretty cute. So, did they broadcast Tony's celebration of life today? Did anybody get a chance to see that? How was it? I did see your cat who lives in the sink. She showed you the door. My next class, Cricket, is student teaching. So I will be student teaching for the quarter. I will have a class for an hour and a half, 2 days a week on Nat's channel. Okay, Susan. Um, but I think I'm going to start up once mom leaves. I will do some more study streams and just find some interesting academic papers that I find interesting, and we can read them together since you guys like the study seems to like the study streams so much. I will do some over the summer. And then I'm not sure what study streams are going to look like in the fall cuz I'm not really going to be studying anything. I'm just going to be doing class planning. So,
Study the book 1619.
mom's got book recommendations to study, but they're outside of the scope. Has it been warm all week, Red, for you? How's it been in San Francisco, brain fog? No face, what did you think about those Italian margaritas? Are you up to that? Okay, guys, second Minnesota goodbye. Did I tell y'all we've got a new game so that over 100 for at least a week? Wow. It's been hot here too, but it hasn't been breaking 100 every day. It's been in the 90s though. Um, but it's still cooling down. Italian margarita. Yeah, it's got a float of amaretto on the top of a rocks margarita with salt. Red's area was total hell. Lovely. That sounds like so much fun, Red. Not. Comes with a float of amaretto, no face. A standard scratch margarita with Cointreau and a float of amaretto. One of my favorites. One of my favorites. The almond goes surprisingly well with the margarita. You wouldn't think it, but it makes it nice and smooth and lovely. I love it when you guys make connections. It's kind of the whole point of this channel, is making connections. Oh, you have a credit for Audible, so you're thinking of getting the book version of Going Clear? That's interesting, Cricket. I need to watch that. It's on Netflix this month, right? Maybe Mom and I could watch it together while she's here. It's probably what she wants, is more Scientology. Not like we haven't had enough of that. It's free on YouTube? Okay, Red. I will keep that in mind. I need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, and I hear it's one of the better ones. You guys, do you realize how tiring it is to go through things and sort and organize? Is it really good? Okay, Red. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. We will see. I am just exhausted. Used to freeze Tetra Pak juice cartons, wrap in a towel, and then beat with a rolling pin. Open pack with scissors. Makes lovely crushed ice. Nice, Nebulous. I like good crushed ice. Tetra Pak juice cartons. Wrap in a towel and beat them with a rolling pin. Very nice. Open pack with scissors. I love that idea, Nebulous. Decision fatigue. There you go, Janelle. That's what it is. I am just fried. You guys, the house looks so much better. Let me show you. Oh, I don't think I can show you. I don't know how to turn the camera around. We did get my desk organized, or we've got the room set up so that I can have my desk at a computer, at a station with a real computer. So I'll be able to get a real computer, not a laptop, and have a quiet place to stream. The Louis Theroux documentary about Sciento is good too. Which one is that, Cricket? Do I just do a search on Louis Theroux? I like funny. Funny is always a good thing. I prefer funny. I prefer funny. I'm going to call the 3rd Minnesota goodbye, y'all. Let's see who we get to show up on the 3rd Minnesota goodbye this week. I have really missed you guys. I know Mom and I have been so busy, and I have not had a spare second to come on. Between work and getting things done around here and trying to get rest on top of everything else, there's just not been time. And I've thought about y'all almost every day, but it's been more important to get things done. Yeah, the house feels better and lighter and more open. Um, just lots and lots of things gotten rid of, and um, there's still more to go. We've got some more things to go to the dump and some more things to go to the Goodwill. Um, Thank you, Cricket. Thank you for looking it up. It it's a big deal, and it's been nice of my mom to come and help me so much with it. Tomorrow, a friend of mine is going to come over, and we're going to see if there's more we can do around the house. But it may be that we need to take some time off and just have some fun. You had just started watching the evening broadcast when I got busy. Can't wait for you to come back. Better to unclutter when you could. You got back to say goodnight. Robert, are you the first one? Are you the first one back after the third Minnesota goodbye tonight? Robert is the first one here. How is the chicken, Robert? It is about that time, guys. I know we're going short today, but like I said, I am tired. You don't remember? Okay. Okay. I did get your email, Robert, with your video. I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but it's in there. The chicken was great. Good. Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad. You always sound like you have the best food. Has your sister come and stocked your freezer lately? Or does she live too far away? I can't remember how far away she lives. I will give Mom hugs for helping your friend. It's very kind of you, Red. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you guys, yes, please remember Liz Ferris in your thoughts and prayers. Absolutely what Susan says. Homemade broccoli mushroom cheese soup. Wow, no face. She lives in New York. You're in North Carolina. Okay, so she doesn't come very often. I got it, Robert. I got it. Yes, please remember Liz. She's clearly very, very sick. Um, and needs the prayers for recovery. My Scientology movie, and it's on YouTube. Okay. Okay, Cricket, I will look. Yes, please give and send Liz all your good thoughts and hopes and prayers for healing. Um, she really needs that. And with that thought, unless there's anything else, I will let you guys go this evening. Thank you for coming. Thank you for continuing to read the book with me. We will be back next week for chapters 8 and 9. And I hope to see you then. Oh my goodness gracious, that's right. Carrie is getting surgery tomorrow, isn't she? Yes, please, all the healing hopes and thoughts for Liz and for Carrie. Lori, thanks for coming. Thank you to everybody for coming. Hugs to all of y'all. I've missed you. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.